Hello, my name's Margaret de Valois and I lead the Pensions and Investment Advisory team at Mazars. Providing pension benefits in today's political and economic climate is one of the biggest challenges that employers face today. Whether benefits are final salary or defined contribution in nature, there are challenges to overcome in terms of managing costs, controlling risks, and educating and encouraging employees to save at a time when many can least afford it. So what are the biggest challenges facing employers and trustees involved in pension provision today? Here's the top 5 hidden pensions bombshells you can't afford to miss. Our first hidden pensions bombshell relates to financial risk. At the beginning of 2012, the yield on the 20-year gilt index was under 3%, the lowest it had been for some time. In the absence of any action by the Bank of England to increase interest rates, it is likely that yields will remain low for the near future. Trustees and sponsors should be aware of this prolonged period of high liability values and have a clear plan of action as to how they intend to navigate their way through this difficult part of the economic cycle. Our second hidden bombshell relates to a different type of risk, mortality. The late noughties saw a surge in longevity assumptions, which meant that pension liabilities increased due to people living longer. Whilst this trend for longer lifespans is well understood, the risk of fat tails existing in scheme populations is less well analysed. As scheme durations become shorter, trustees and sponsors should consider carrying out underwriting exercises to understand exactly where their mortality risk lies. For our third hidden bombshell, we turn to market risk. Buyout is one of the ways in which a final salary pension scheme can discharge its liabilities in respect of some or all of its members. Insurance companies taking on buyout liabilities are required to hold capital in respect of the liabilities that they insure. This means insurers can only take on liabilities up to the value of capital that they hold. This effectively creates a cap on the number of schemes that can buy out. Smart schemes will therefore look to buy out in the short to medium term, so to take advantage of this finite opportunity. The fourth hidden bombshell is perhaps one of the greatest, and some say only, real risk to final salary pension payments. And that is the risk of the sponsoring employer going insolvent. Trustees running final salary pension schemes that are not fully funded on a self-sufficiency basis have effectively granted a loan to the employer, which needs to be repaid. Given the importance of this risk, it makes sense that trustees should analyse their sponsor covenant in the same way that a mortgage provider would look at the creditworthiness of its customers that it is lending money to. Trustees who do not do this are exposing themselves to potential defaults they are not aware of. The final of our hidden bombshells is what I call the triennial surprise. Current legislation means that trustees typically carry out a valuation of their final salary pension scheme on an annual basis, with a more formal valuation being carried out every 3 years. Whilst a triennial snapshot of a funding position is no doubt useful and required by law, the increased volatility in markets and advance in technology means that smart trustees are now looking at their valuations more regularly. This avoids the triennial surprise associated with valuing your scheme only once every 3 years. I hope that has given you some useful and interesting points to consider, and I wish you the best of luck in managing your schemes in this difficult time of the markets.